Hello students, welcome back. In our previous class, we have learned about microorganism, its classification and friendly microbes. Now in this class, we are going to learn about harmful microorganism, food preservation and our last topic that will be nitrogen fixation and nitrogen cycle. So we will start our today's topic, that is harmful microorganisms. Although microorganisms are extremely useful to human health and our ecosystem, they can attack the humans, animals and plants to cause diseases. These disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens. What is pathogen? Disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens, or they can also be termed as germs. Now, the disease caused by these germs are termed as communicable diseases or infectious diseases. So what is communicable diseases? The disease that can be passed from one person to another are called communicable diseases. It can infect a healthy person. That is termed as communicable diseases. Now, how are these communicable diseases spread? They are spread through air, water, food, direct or indirect physical contact, and through carriers. So first, we'll go through air. When an infected person coughs or sneezes, tiny droplets of moisture carrying disease-causing germs spread in the surrounding air or in the atmosphere. And when an healthy person inhales this air, the disease-causing germs enter his body and infect him. Therefore, it is advisable that the infected person should cover his nose and mouth with a tissue or an handkerchief. Second, that is water through water. Diseases spread through water. Now through air, what are the examples that is been spread? That is common cold or cough. Secondly, water. Through water you can see waterborne disease. They are spread through contaminated water. This disease, they are prevalent in those areas where the sanitary conditions are very poor or where safe drinking water is not available. Even it can also spread through dead and decaying animals and plants. These dead and decaying animals and plants can also contaminate drinking water. Next, the communicable disease that is spread by food. How? Microorganisms that grow on our food sometimes and produce toxic substances. This make the food poisonous, causing serious illness and even death. So it is very important that we should preserve our food from being spoiled. Next, that is direct or indirect physical contact. Direct or indirect physical contact, like disease like measles, chicken pox, all that is being spread through direct or indirect physical contact. They can be spread through skin touch or by using the material used by an infected person. So, example here you can take measles and chicken pox. Next, that is carriers. Carriers that is been carried by insects and animals. There are many diseases which are not caused by insects and animals, but they are spread by insects and animals. They act as carriers of disease. That means these insect and animals, they act as carriers of disease. Therefore, they are termed as disease causing microorganisms. Now here we have learned about air. What are the examples of air? That is common cold. Example of water, disease caused, that is typhoid, hepatitis, and direct and indirect, that is measles and chicken pox. Now carriers, that is caused through or that is been spread by insects and animals. Insects and animals doesn't cause any disease, but they spread the disease. That's why they are termed as carriers. Now in carriers you can see carriers of disease causing microorganism. For example, we can take the female Anopheles mosquito that spread malaria and is mainly active after dark. So they are the carriers. How do they spread? Mosquitoes transfer disease causing microorganism through the saliva which comes in contact with their host when they are sucking blood. In this way they used to spread the malaria. Not all the mosquito used to spread the malaria. It has been spread only through female Anopheles mosquito. Next, Aedes mosquito. You have heard about dengue fever that has been spread through Aedes mosquito, and that mosquito that is active during the daytime. So here you can see not only biting that transmit the diseases. Disease may also be spread through feces of a carrier, or you can see like housefly, it can also spread the diseases. Microorganism could also be located on the outside surface of a carrier such as fly and spread through physical contact with food. That means housefly, when it sits on an uncovered food coming from any toxic waste and come and sit on the food, then that food can be spoiled, that can be infected, and if we take that food, the person can also be infected by taking that food. Therefore, we can see that all mosquitoes breed in water. Hence, one should not let water collect anywhere. That means in cooler, tires, coconut shell, etc. Now by keeping the surrounding clean and dry, we can prevent mosquitoes from breeding and avoid the spread of malaria. Now some common human diseases caused by microorganisms are like tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox, and the causative microorganism, that is bacteria, virus. Mode of transmission, here you can see air, water. And what are the preventive measures? Like you can see measles, tuberculosis, chickenpox, the preventive measures to keep the patient in complete isolation. That means keep them away from everyone in separate room, and keep the personal belongings also separate. In the same way, here you can see typhoid, that is waterborne disease caused by bacteria. And what are the preventive measures? Maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. In waterborne, we have learned that due to poor sanitary habits, this disease has been caused. In the same way, hepatitis, again waterborne. Now how can you prevent it? You can prevent it by drinking boiled water and by vaccination, and they are caused by virus. Our next topic, that is diseases caused by microorganism in animals and plants. microorganism causes diseases in animals and plants too. First we will learn about some of the diseases caused by microbes in animals. The first, that is anthrax. This is an infectious bacterial disease in sheep and cattle. It can be transmitted to humans through the meat, hair, skin, etc. of the infected animals. That means if we take this material of the infected animals, we can also be affected. Second, that is foot and mouth diseases in animals. There is also a viral disease in sheep, cattle, goat, etc. Foot and mouth disease, that means the animal, they might be suffering from high fever, blisters in mouth. Blisters means swelling, here small swelling on the skin filled with watery fluid. That means when you get burned, you can see the skin gets swelled and the fluid get inside that swelled part, and that is termed as your blisters. Third, you can see bird flu, that is again it is a viral disease in poultry animals. Next, we will go through disease causing microorganism in plants. In some plants like citrus canker means plants like lime, orange, grapefruit. They are also being infected by microorganism called bacteria, and that is spread through air. Citrus fruit like lime, you can see some brown spores you can see on the skin of the lime orange. That is being infected by microorganism. In the same way, here you can see rust of wheat. Rust of wheat, that is again it is been infected by fungi caused by air or seeds you can see. In that you can see the leaf of the wheat that is being infected. Rust we have already been learned. Rust means jung लगना जो बोलते हैं. So that brownish color part that is being found on the leaf of the wheat plant. In the same way, yellow vein mosaic of bhindi. Bhindi means okra. In other word, we can say okra, that is also been caused by virus. Microorganism that is been caused by virus. It is infected by insect. That means the entire network of veins on the leaf blade. Veins on the leaf blade, the entire green part of leaf, and the lines you can see, that is a vein, that changes to yellow color. That green color changes to yellow color. That means that is being infected by virus. And all this can be prevented or controlled by the use of certain chemicals which kill the microbes. So by using these chemicals, they are like insecticide, pesticides, we can control these diseases in plants. Our next topic, that is food preservation. In chapter 1, we have learned about the preservation and storage of food grain. Now, how do we preserve the cooked food at home? At home, we used to, or the leftover food. At home, we used to preserve it in the refrigerator. That means at low temperature. At low temperature, it stops the growth of microbes. In our last class, we have learned that if bread that is kept in moist condition is attacked by fungus, that means microorganisms spoil our food. Not only cooked food, even the fruits you can see, after some day it gets spoiled. Like mango you can take, it gets spoiled, but you can see that the mango that is being used to make pickle that is been kept for a long time, it doesn't get spoiled. Why is it so? It is because that to make the pickle we use some preservatives. That means some chemicals that is being used to preserve the pickle. So here are some common preservatives, common methods by which we can preserve the food. The first one, that is chemical method. Chemical method like salt, edible oil and acid preservatives. They are being used to check the growth of microbes. Acid preservatives like sodium benzoate, sodium metabisulfate, they are being used as common preservatives. They stop the growth of microbes. Secondly, common salt. Preservation by common salt. It has been used to preserve meat and fish. They are being covered with dry salt to check the growth of bacteria. Not only meat and fish, you can see like gooseberry, it is been dried with salt, tamarind that has been dried with salt and stored for long time, so it doesn't spoil or it doesn't get attacked by the microbes. Third, preservation by sugar. Sugar that also reduces the moisture content which inhibit the growth of bacteria which spoil food like jams, jellies, all that are being preserved by sugar. Next preservation, that is preservation by oil and vinegar. This also helps to stop the growth of bacteria. The bacteria cannot live in such an environment in oil and vinegar. So this method is being used to preserve pickles in which bacteria cannot live. You can see, you have seen that in pickle the oil used to float, so that helps to preserve the microbes from being attacked, preserve the pickles from getting being attacked by the microbes. Vegetable, fruits are also being preserved by this method. You have seen the onions that has been kept in vinegar and it has been used later. Next, preservation, that is heat and cold treatment. That means heating rapidly and rapidly cooling it. And this method we used to use in case of milk. That means then that method that is termed as pasteurization. That means pasteurized milk, the packet milk that you bring that that do not spoil because it is a pasteurized milk. That means it is being heated at high temperature, that means 70 degrees Celsius to 15 to 30 seconds, and then suddenly chilled and stored. And that means rapid heating and rapid cooling. That stops the growth of microbes. And the process is termed as pasteurization. And it was discovered by Louis Pasteur. Next, that is preservation by storage and packing. Nowadays you are seeing that fruits and even vegetables, they are sold in sealed airtight containers, packets, so that it can be prevented from the attack of microbes, or it helps to prevent the attack of microbes. So that is being sold in storage and packing. It has been packed in a container. So these are the few methods by which the food is being preserved and it is been stopped from the microbes that attacks or spoil the food. So by this method we can stop the attack of microbes and preserve or save your food items.